God webpage. Please relax and we will begin.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Lord, as God advocates, please make us effective channels for transformation. Where there is discrimination, let us all assert for equity. Where there is subordination, let us all appeal for equality. Where there is marginalization, let us all move for empowerment. Where there is violence, let us all work for peace. O Lord, grant us that we may never fail to practice gender fairness in our homes, in the workplace, and in the community. Let respect, participation, recognition, and appreciation be the dominant values of all men and women. Through your guidance, Lord, equality and empowerment of both men and women will not be far behind. Amen.
Thank you very much. The prayer is very timely because today is the start of the 18-day campaign to end VAW, or violence against women. At this point, we'd like to recognize the presence of our DOST officials. We saw in the Zoom, we have ASEC Diana L. Ignacio. Welcome, ASEC Diana. And also, there are a number of participants. We have currently 94 participants. So thank you. Thank you for your presence. At this point, we'd like to encourage everyone to participate in the poll survey to determine how are you feeling today. Please check the chat box and click the link to the website slido.com and you will be prompted to answer the question. Have you seen it in the chat box? Okay. Then please type your answer And let us see what are your answers on the screen. Click the link to the website, slido.com, and type your answer on the question, how do you feel today, and send it. Oh, one answered, excited. Very good. Hopeful. What else? Just click the link to the slido.com. Check the chat box, please. And type your answer on the question. Okay, great. Good. What else? Feeling good. Good. Okay, what else? Currently, we have 113 participants. And okay, some more answers. Busy. Oh, inspired. Wow, I love it. Beautiful, happy, feeling motivated, feeling good. What else? Humbled. What else? Hungry. Oh my. Probably wala pa itong lunch. What else? Beautiful. Awesome. Wow. Some more answers? Oh, some from the chat box. Optimistic. Healthy with a question mark. Tired. Oh, because tired. Oh, good. That even if you're tired, you're still with us. What else? Pressured. Oh, we understand that feeling. What else? I love it. I love this answer. Feeling blessed. One answer is curious. Ano kaya? Bakit kaya siya curious? Probably regarding the topic of the webinar. Okay, so how do you find this exercise? Do you love it? Kinakaya. Carry lang. Okay, blessed. Okay, good. So, happy to see your answers. And for the other participants, you will be given another opportunity to answer our questions. So, currently we have 125 participants. Thank you very much. Okay, so, thank you. We're really happy that you are with us. At this point, to formally open this webinar, may I request our very own Undersecretary for Scientific and Technical Services, Dr. Renato Sulidom Jr., to kindly give the opening remarks.
A pleasant afternoon to our distinguished resource persons, DOST officials, and participants. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar entitled Gender Mainstreaming, What's in It for DOST. We are now on the third day of the week-long celebration of the 2020 National Science and Technology Week with the theme Agham at Teknolohiya sandigan ng kalusugan, kabuhayan, kaayusan, at kinabukasan. While DOST focuses on technologies under the 4Ks, it has always acknowledged and gave priority to the importance of equality. We value each individual and harness their expertise to deliver services to the Filipinos with equal opportunities for both men and women. This webinar is a testament of DOST support to gender equality through gender mainstreaming. According to Republic Act 9710, or the Magna Carta for Women, gender mainstreaming refers to the strategy used so that men and women benefit equally and inequality is not perpetuated. In today's webinar, our very able speakers from the Philippine Commission on Women will share with you the gender distribution status in various aspects and why gender mainstreaming matters, particularly in science and technology. We commend DOST GOD and Regional Support Service for making this webinar happen despite all the challenges of the current times. We hope that with today's webinar, you will be able to appreciate better gender mainstreaming and consider integration of gender perspective in our policies, programs, projects, and activities for the greater good of every Filipino. I also would like to invite you to visit our virtual exhibit of DOST technologies under the 4Ks and attend webinars that may be of interest to you. I hope that you all enjoy and learn from this year's NSTW celebration. Thank you for joining us and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Yusek Solidum, for that wonderful message, as well as your invitation to the NSTW celebration. Kindly visit our NSTW website so that you will know what are these activities. Okay, let's have another opportunity to answer again a question. Please check the chat box and click the same link to the website, slido.com. And the question is, in a scale of 1 to 4, with 1 being the lowest and 4 being the highest, please rate your knowledge on gender mainstreaming. 1 means no idea, 2 knows little about it, 3 familiar with it, and 4 confident to talk about it. Okay, we'll give you ample time to answer. Okay, let's see your answer. Oh. So 70% said that they're familiar with gender mainstreaming, and 14% knows little about it. Another 14% confident to talk about it. And I'm happy that there's no answer coming for number one, which is no idea. Okay, so let's continue. Let's wait for a little while for the answer, please. Click the link in the chat box of slido.com website. Okay. Oh. So 28? 28 of you, 29 of 30 have answered this poll question. Please click the link so that we will know and our speaker will be able to gauge the participants, your knowledge on gender mainstreaming. Okay. So I'm certain that those who answered number 3, which is familiar with it, my assumption is they are members of the God Focal Point, a system of agencies, or users of the GMEC handbook. Okay, 37, some more. We have 139 participants right now. Okay. So 40 persons, participants. So this is already 25% have answered, at least. Okay, so let's leave this poll survey and let's continue. Thank you for your participation. Ladies and gentlemen, may I call upon the Director for Administrative and Legal Service, God and Regional Support Service, and the DOST-wide God Focal person, Dr. Elizabeth Fontanilla, to introduce the guest speakers.
Hi, hello, good afternoon to all our participants from the academe, from other government agencies, from non-government organizations, from the private sector, and our very own gender advocates from the Department of Science and Technology. We are indeed lucky to have two very capable and very passionate resource speakers this afternoon. Our first speaker is Ms. Narlene Santos Millar. Ms. Millar is currently the Chief Gender and Development Specialist from the Technical Services and Regional Coordination Division of the Philippine Commission on Women, or the PCW. Her division, the TSRCD, is the division in charge of providing technical assistance on gender and development to national government agencies as well as local government units. This technical assistance is being facilitated either through the national or the local gender resource program. Prior to being the chief of TSRCD, our speaker was the chief of the Policy Development and Advocacy Division of the PCW. Ms. Millar finished her bachelor's degree in public administration from the National College of Public Administration and Governance, or NCPAG, of the University of the Philippines in 1996. She also earned her Master in Social Change and Development, major in Organizational Management and Leadership degree with distinction from the University of Newcastle, Australia. She also completed the academic requirements for the Master in Demography degree from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Ms. Millar has served as a local and as an international expert and resource person on various areas such as on gender and development mainstreaming, on gender analysis, and on GAD planning and budgeting. She has led and facilitated the development and updating of various gender and development policies, tools, and guidelines, notable of which are the following: the implementing rules and regulations of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act, the Magna Carta of Women and the Reproductive Health and Responsible Parenthood Act, the gender-based violence-related tools such as the VOW performance standards for the Philippine National Police, the Department of Justice, the Department of Health, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and the local government units. There's also the VOW referral system guidelines and also the VOW desk handbook. Most recently, her team has completed the revision of the Gender Mainstreaming Evaluation Framework, popularly called the GMEF. And coming soon is the Enhanced Gender Responsive LGU tool known as the GIRL tool. With her credentials and extensive experience in handling gender and development policies, issues, and concerns affecting the national agencies and local government, we are indeed very pleased that she has graciously accepted our invitation to be with us this afternoon. Our second resource speaker is Dr. Rodora Masilang Bukoy. May I be allowed to read how Dr. Bukoy has been described by the Justice Herman Lee Jr. Leadership Awards. Dr. Rodora Bukoy is a passionate educator and gender and development advocate. She is a public intellectual who melds her theory with development and human rights work. Her involvement is not limited within the academe, but cascades into the non-government organizations and people's organizations in the city, in the region, and the nation. Her praxis in transformative politics and development work is exemplified in her engagements with development agencies like Gender Mainstreaming Project with GTZ NEDA in 2004 and on gender mainstreaming with Focus Philippine Australian Community Assistance Project in Bohol in 2008 to 2009. She has conducted for the past 30 years more than 30 training courses serving as convener or resource person on various topics such as gender and development, the use of harmonized GAD tools in project development and evaluation, just to cite a few. She has lectured in international and national conferences on topics like education for sustainable development, grassroots feminism, women's rights, gender fair education, discourses in women's studies, and rights-based approach to development. As founding coordinator of SIDLAC Gender Resource Center of Central Visayas since 2003, she leads the network in mainstreaming gender in non-government and government agencies, local government units, and the academe through sustained capability training on GAD and gender-responsive governance and gender-fair education. She also received an award as Human Rights Defender from the Task Force Detainee of the Philippines in December 2008. She was also a nominee for Outstanding Cebuana Awards of the Cebu City Commission on Women and Family Affairs for her trailblazing work on gender and development and gender fair education. Dr. Bukoy is a member of the National Gender Resource Pool of GAD experts and the former chairperson of the Philippine Commission on Women. Thank you, Chairperson Bukoy, for sharing your time to be with us and allowing us to learn more from you about gender and development this afternoon. So let me not keep you waiting any longer to hear and learn from our speakers. May I now call on Ms. Millar first and to be followed by Chairperson Bukoy. Happy learning, everyone. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po kay Director Beth Fontanilla for your very generous introduction. And good afternoon to everybody. Kamusta po kayo? Pakitype nga po ang 1 sa chat box kung kayo ay ready and eager to listen and learn and share about gender mainstreaming. Ayan, maraming salamat. Of course, I'd like to thank the DOST for the opportunity to be part of your National Science and Technology Week. And as mentioned by Yusek Solidum, this is your 3rd day, and we are very glad that God is one of the topics of your celebration for the National Science and Technology Week. So, yung mga taga-regions po, kamusta kayo dyan? Sana maayos na ang lagay ng mga naabutan ng bagyo, naapektuhan ng bagyo and nitong mga nakaraang araw. So, let's make this 2-hour session fun-filled, learning-filled, and please do share what you think about gender mainstreaming. Pero sobrang na-appreciate ko yung papol ni Ms. Pe kanina on your level of knowledge about gender mainstreaming. So, hindi lang siguro nakaka-access lahat. Hi, Ma'am Carmina. Oh, hi. Marami tayong mga kilala. Shout out sa mga kilala natin. Hindi lahat nakaka-access doon sa sa Slido. So yung iba nandun sa chat box, pero doon sa Slido almost 40 plus participant joined, and about 63% said you are familiar with gender mainstreaming. So this is very good kasi at least 63 out of the 40 are also good. Pero nakikita ko din sa chat box, marami ding nagsasabi ng familiar. So 3. So that's good, no? Ibig sabihin kasi, yung effort nila Director Beth, nila Fe, in terms of gender based, at saka yung gender mainstreaming God focal point system ng DOST is already, paving the way for everybody to appreciate and know about gender mainstreaming. Ang maganda, parang wala namang no idea about it. So that's good. All right. So while Director Beth actually introduced Chairperson Bukoy today, actually she is prepared to speak to you this afternoon. However, we were informed that she is having allergic reaction. So she's taking medication, which is very problematic for her to kailangan nakahiga siya. So we would like to convey our excuse, our apologies to everybody. The Chair Bukoy cannot join this afternoon. But what I did, and with my colleague Saiki, is we incorporated her presentation in my presentation so that we can share with you ano ba yung gustong sabihin ni Chair about situation of women and men in science and technology sector. So kung mamarapatin niyo po na ako na lang ang mag-speak about that, wala na po kayong choice kasi ako na talaga. So maraming salamat. Let's begin. Let me just screen share. Okay. And begin this session. Okay. All right. Sige. So our webinar this afternoon is about what's in it for gender mainstreaming, what's in it for science and technology. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you this afternoon. PCW has been organizing series of webinars in the last few months. So I hope some of you have attended that. But this is a special topic for DOST. For some of you, this is just a review because about 60% of the participants who joined the poll already know about gender mainstreaming. So for some of you, this is going to help you deepen your appreciation about gender mainstreaming. All right, so my session will focus on two main parts. One will talk about what is gender mainstreaming. So this is sort of a review. And then we'll zero in on gender mainstreaming in science and technology because this is your sector. So magandang i-focus din natin ano ba yung gender issue, paano ba mag-mainstream sa science and technology sector. Okay. So what is gender mainstreaming about? Okay. So gusto ko lang i-put forward ito sa simula pa lang. Okay. Gender mainstreaming is a strategy to achieve what we all want, gender equality. Okay. So meron tayong perspective. We have the gender and development perspective where we integrate our gender concerns in the way that we do things in the way that we plan, in the way that we develop program, implement, monitor, and evaluate. And then, ang strategy na ginagamit natin doon is what we call gender mainstreaming. So the end result supposed to be of gender mainstreaming is to contribute to gender equality. So ano ba yung gender equality? No? Gender equality should be a fundamental choice in development practices and institutional practices. Ibig sabihin ng gender equality, pagkakapantay-pantay ng babae lalaki, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, regardless of their education, regardless of their context, regardless of their disability, regardless of their wealth, regardless of their status. So equality in all aspect. Yun yung gusto natin. So all of these things that we are doing in God aims to contribute to our dream of having gender equality. Pantay ang lalaki at babae, bata, matanda, lahat ng tao sa mundo, lahat ng tao sa Pilipinas, may pantay na access, may pantay na benefits sa development. So yun ang ating goal, gender equality. Okay? Okay, so para natin masabing bakit ba ito yung goal? Kasi syempre naka-anchor tayo sa ilang mga polisiya at mandato. Kasi kailangan naman maintindihan natin saan ba natin kinukuha tong kailangan magkaroon ng gender equality. Apart from, dahil rights-based approach ay kailangan natin i-implement. Kasi dapat, di ba, lahat naman tayo tao. So dapat walang naiiwan. Nobody is left behind. Everybody should develop equally. So saan nanggagaling yung ating mandato para ipatupad ang gender equality at empowerment ng kababaihan? Of course, most of you know about the CEDAW or the United Nations Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Ito yung International Bill of Rights of Women. So talagang nakafocus ang international mandate na ito sa pag-address sa diskriminasyon na nararanasan ng mga kababaihan. So dito, meron kaming konting information about you. Very clearly, under Article 1 of the CEDAW, dinefine niya ano ba yung discrimination. Okay? Tapos, ano ang obligasyon ng Estado? Kasi ang Pilipinas ay state party to CEDAW. Ibig sabihin, we signed the convention. So therefore, the provision of the CEDAW should be implemented as part of our law in the Philippines, no? Unless meron siyang contradictory sa ating national laws. So kailangan i-harmonize natin 'yon. Tapos meron siyang areas of application and then CEDAW Committee and Administrative Procedure. On the right side of the PowerPoint, kasi nakaharap ako, merong mga specific articles lang kaming pinikap that could be relevant for DOST, no? Especially for the science and technology sectors. So, nandiyan yung Article 10 on education, Article 11 on employment, Article 14 on rural women. Pero hindi lang dito yon. No? These are just some of the articles where your agency, the organization where you belong to or the sector that you belong to could contribute to addressing, eliminating discrimination against women in some of these specific areas. Okay? So, ito yung gusto ko lang i-highlight, no? Yung pag-define ng CEDAW ng discrimination. Kasi ito yung gusto natin ding i-address sa gender mainstreaming. So, sabi ng CEDAW, Article 1, for purposes of the present convention, the term discrimination against women shall mean any distinction, exclusion, or restriction made on the basis of sex, which has the effect or purpose of impairing or nullifying the recognition, enjoyment, or exercises by women, irrespective of their marital status, on the basis of equality of men and women, of human rights, fundamental freedoms in the political, economic, social, cultural, civil, and other field. This definition excludes not just direct or intentional discrimination, but any act that has the effect of creating or perpetuating inequality between women and men. So, itong diskriminasyon na to, whether it affects women or men, yun yung titignan natin sa gender mainstreaming, no? So kailangan hindi natin sila i-exclude, no? Walang i-exclude in terms of whatever sector, class, or distinction you belong to. Yun yung gustong sabihin nung CEDAW, lalo na sa kababaihan. So I hope that's clear to everybody. So kapag mayroon pa rin tayong nararanasang diskriminasyon dahil tayo ay babae, or dahil tayo ay may ibang sexual orientation or gender identity, dapat sabihin na, ipaglaban natin ito kasi international commitment na ito. 180 plus countries signed the UN CEDAW. So sabi dito, dapat alisin try natin i-combat yung discrimination against women or try natin i-address yung discrimination na nararanasan natin para tayo ay umunlad, para tayo mag-enjoy ng ating human rights. Okay? All right. So another international document that's very relevant for gender mainstreaming is what we call the Beijing Platform for Action. So most of you have been hearing about this because PCW conducted consultation for the Beijing Plus 25 report. By the way, recently we just prepared the CIDO 9 country report. So meron na tayong report na isasubmit sa CIDO. No? So ang laman nun is ano yung mga efforts ng Philippine government as state party, even the private sector, even the LGUs, to make sure that the provisions of CIDO are implemented. Okay? So another policy na international is the Beijing Platform for Action. This is a result of a UN convention, UN Commission on Status of Women meeting in 1995. So the Beijing Platform for Action specifically stated that gender mainstreaming, or specifically endorsed gender mainstreaming as a strategy to ensure that gender perspective, remember the term, gender perspective is reflected in all policies, programs at the national, regional, and international levels, so that before decisions are taken or made, an analysis is made on the effects to women and men respectively. So napaka-importante nung definition ng gender mainstreaming. And yung sexualism also quoted the definition of gender mainstreaming under the Magna Carta of Women. So ensuring that gender perspective is reflected in all policies, programs at different levels. Tapos dapat meron ka munang analysis na ginawa sa potential impact, sa potential issues na kakaharapin ng mga policies, programs natin sa babae at lalaki. So yun yung gender mainstreaming. Okay? And then Beijing Platform for Action for the Information of Everybody also identified 12 areas of concern affecting women and girl children. So let me just go to the 12 areas of concerns. So kita nyo yan ha, women and poverty, education and training, health, violence against women, women in armed conflict, women and the economy, women in power decision-making, institutional mechanism, human rights of women, women in media, women in the environment, and the girl child. Okay, out of the 12, may I know sa chat box, sa tingin nyo, out of the 12, ilang areas of concern ang relevant sa science and technology sector? Pakitype nyo nga. May I see sa chat kung ano yung stop share ko muna. I wanna see your reaction. Out of the 10, out of the 12, sa tingin nyo, ilan yung areas of concern relevant to your sector? 12? 12? Come on. 12? Wow, lahat yata relevant sa DOST, lahat relevant sa science and technology sector. That is good because the recognition that your institution, your sector, your agency contributes to any of these 12 areas of concern is very important. Okay? So, dun sa mga sumagot, maraming salamat sa inyo. May premyo kayo after nito. Pagkatapos ng seminar na to, meron kayong certificate. So, 12 areas, and a lot, those of you who participated in the chat said that mostly all of these areas possibly merong contribution ang science and technology sector. Okay? So that's good to know, no? Na meron tayong ganong klaseng appreciation and understanding. Sige nga, for example, science, women in education and training. This is very obvious. That is very relevant to science and technology, right? Kasi you have your PISAY, you also have your training, meron kayong mga training na ino-offer, all of your agencies, attached agencies, offer the education training program for women and for women entrepreneurs and for women users of the technology or the men users of the technology that you have. Women and health. Okay, so you contribute to women and health in your research. Diba? In the researches that you do in your science and technology institutes and research and development institutes. So meron din yan. Women and the economy, of course, the technology that we develop in the sector also contributes to improving economy. no, in the Philippines. And then power and decision making. When we acknowledge women scientists, when we acknowledge women researcher, when we acknowledge women in our leadership position, so definitely meron tayong contribute dyan at meron tayong stake sa areas of concern na ito. Okay? Women in the environment. Of course, tama, meron yan. Kasi meron din tayong contribution sa research, yung mga technology na dinidevelop natin, environment friendly ba siya, women friendly ba siya, gender friendly ba siya. So these are the things that we can look into when we say how our sector contributes to the 12 areas of concerns. So I'm so happy to know that a lot of you appreciate that. Okay, so in our Beijing Plus 25 report, we identified top 6 priority for our 2020-2025 implementation. So it's the next 5 years of the Beijing implementation. And one of this is quality education, training, and lifelong learning for women and girls. So definitely, science and technology sector, DOST, agencies and attached agencies would contribute to priority number 1. Access to affordable and quality healthcare. Yes, possibly in relation to research, in relation to the technology that we will develop related to health. Right to work and rights at work, definitely. Because we as workers in government have the right, no? But we as also employer also should ensure that our colleagues and the people that we employ, no? Siyempre, lalo na pag nasa top level tayo, siyempre, nag-hire tayo ng mga tao, we make sure that the people we have in the institution enjoy their rights at work. So what are some of these rights, di ba? So dapat we are entitled to what? Of course, if you're a woman and you're pregnant, you're entitled to maternity leave, which is now 105 days. You should be entitled to solo parent leave. If you are a solo parent, you should be entitled to VAUSI leave if you are a survivor of violence against women. You should have lactating room. You should have lactation break. You should have child minding center. You should have work-life balance. Pero with the with the work from home scheme that we have right now, challenge ang work-life balance. And I believe that the National Council for Research made a research about, led by Dr. Mayet Sumagisay, developed a research or came up with a research about the effects of work-life balance, no? Sa gender relations or sa work of women and men. So maganda yun. No? I heard na nakinig ako dun sa forum na yun, pero hindi ko lang natapos. But I think Dr. Mayet will be presenting that into one of our session in the gender resource pool. Eliminating violence against women and girls, yes. Gender responsive approaches in emergency situation. Siyempre, magko-contribute din tayo lahat because we are all affected by any emergency situation, whether it's natural or not natural. Okay? Tapos, strengthening women's participation in ensuring environmental sustainability. So again, the top 6 priority for the next 5 years of the Beijing DOST science and technology sector would have a stake on this and would have specific action to take on. Okay? Next. Alright, so ito lang yung gusto kong i-highlight, no? Isang portion about the quality education, training, and lifelong learning for women and girls. So, sabi dito, despite the higher completion rate of women in education, totoo naman yun, mataas ang completion rate ng women compared to men, gender tracking still exists. While there is an increasing number of women entering medicine and law, men dominate in aeronautics, engineering, technology. It is believed that socio-cultural traditions, family preference, and gender stereotype influence the choice of women and men. If this is addressed, progress of women and girls will be accelerated and they will hopefully be ready for the 4th Industrial Revolution. Kasi yan na ngayon yung pinag-uusapan internationally. So, dito, pag sinabi nating increasing access of women to non-traditional field, especially STEM, we're not saying naman that men should give way for women, no? There should be equal opportunity. No, hindi natin sinasabing bawasan natin yung mga kalalakihan para yung mga kababaihan yung nandun. But let's remove the cultural barriers, the socio-cultural barriers that hamper women from participating or from entering into these kinds of fields. Okay? Tapos government and other institutions, including the private sector, should take active measure to encourage young girls and women to venture into science, technology, engineering, and math courses to support women entrepreneurship and business development activities. So ito yung call for the top priority under education and training. So I will not be talking about the others 5 priorities, but just want to highlight about education, training, and lifelong learning for women and girls because this is very, very relevant to our sector. Ayan. Tapos, of course, we have the Sustainable Development Goals. Gender is a standalone goal, goal number 6, but we are saying always that gender could be found in the other goals of the SDGs, no? So we have several targets under the SDGs, and I think you can also find Science and Technology Sector, DOST, attached agency DOST, mandates related to sustainable development goals, especially goal number 6. Ayan, oh. Meron tayo enhance the use of enabling technology, in particular information and communication technology. Ano pa? Undertake reforms to give women equal rights to economic resources. Ensure women's full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership in all levels. So ito yung recognizing women as leaders in the science field as well. Okay? Of course, apart from our international commitment, meron tayong mga local policies, local mandates, local plans that we need to look into when we talk about how our sector should contribute to addressing gender issue and to be able to do gender mainstreaming. So ito pong Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development, 30-year plan po ito. Matatapos na siya sa 2025. No? So for most agencies asking us for list of gender issues and possible GAD programs, nandito po lahat yon sa PPGD. And this is by thematic sector. No? So meron siyang mga teams at areas of concern. So please just try to go through the PPGD for you to be able to know ano ba yung gender issue. For example, gender issue in migration, gender issue in trafficking, gender issue in prostitution, gender issue in governance, marami po yan. Even science and technology, of course. Okay? So ito yung mga ibang pwedeng makita dyan, improve women's participation in projects, access to resources. So meron tayong sexism in school learning materials. Uso-uso ngayon yan. Ang dami natin nakikita sa Facebook ng mga learning materials now that we are doing modular online. Ano? So we hope na sana meron tayo talagang standard setting about all these materials that we are distributing now to our students. Safer workspaces for women, improve women's access to job, among others. Now, we tried to call some of the programs and projects of the PPGD under the Women in Science and Technology chapter or sector. So meron siyang about 9 of that, no? Or 10, sorry, 9, yeah. So, una dyan is the formulation and adoption and use of sector or agency-specific guidelines. So, meron dapat specific guidelines on science and technology in terms of gender mainstreaming or how to mainstream gender in the sectoral programs and projects. Then you have to generate specific sexist aggregated database and gender responsive indicators para makita natin yung women's participation and concerns in science and technology. So yan yung sinasabi ni PPGD. And then we should have policy studies on the status of women in S&T, expansion of science and technology opportunities for women, reorientation of career and guidance counselors. Siyempre ito para para doon sa mga tracking ng career, no? Anong course ang kukuhanin? Kasi minsan mga counselor, siguro dahil babae teacher ka, ganyan, or social worker, ganyan. So dapat reorient din sila about equal opportunities for women and men to go into field. So ngayon, di ba yung tracking ng K-12, depending on your path, merong tracking din yun eh. Parang may mga, I can't remember the term that they use in K-12, pero parang may exam ka, tapos saan ba yung, anyway, nakalimutan ko kung anong tawag doon if you know how it's called. Strand, yes, thank you very much, DOST na 11. Strand, thank you for that word, yeah, may strand, no? So yon, so at least maganda ngayon kasi based on competency, skills and leaning no nung estudyante or nung bata. Pero of course we should still encourage them kasi minsan sa bahay iba din yung inculcation ng mga parents about what career, what courses to take ng mga anak nila. Okay? Then review and improvement of science and technology curriculum. Okay, para ma-integrate natin yung mga latest development, yung equality provision and everything. Development and promotion of female role models, particularly in non-traditional S&T fields. Provision of gender-sensitive infrastructure to allow women to be more creative and active in science and technology. This is a very, very important area, infrastructure. Kasi syempre, iba naman talaga yung physiology ng babae at lalaki. So lalo na kapag siguro nasa research and development ka na, medyo scientific, ano ba yung kailangan mong equipment suitable to your physiological makeup or height or whatever. So dapat ma-consider din natin yan kasi that's also being sensitive to the differentials of women and men. And sensitivity and skills training for workers in the sector, for government organizations, NGOs, and in conducting research and development in science and technology community. So we cannot overemphasize the need for us to continuously improve our sensitivity and skills training on gender and development. So ito I'm just showing you that under our existing plan, under existing policies of government, the Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development, meron na sinasabi on how science and technology can mainstream. What are some of the programs and projects that could be undertaken to ensure that gender concerns are addressed? Okay? Next. Okay, so ang latest po natin na time slice of the PPGD is what we call the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Plan, 1995 to 2025. So ito, para siyang time slice of the PPGD na mas updated in terms of the issues, no? Siyempre kasi yung PPGD 1995 pa natin yung ginawa. So kailangan naman yung ating Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Plan updated siya based on current developments, no? Current situation of our women and men. Okay? So ang GWE plan, meron siyang specific thematic sector on MSMEs, trade and industry na pwedeng nandun yung ibang pwedeng gawin ng DOST and other attached agencies. So dito nakapasok siya, isa lang to example, this is not exhaustive. Nakapasok yung contribution natin on how to improve women's economic empowerment, especially MSMEs and improving women's industry. Okay, so ito yung pwede nating tignan in terms of the GWE plan for the science and technology sector. Okay? Now, ang pinaka, as mentioned kanina by Yusek Solidum, we have the Magna Carta of Women. Ito naman ay, it's already 11-year-old law. 2009. Tayo nagpasa ng Magna Carta of Women. Ano ba to? 2009, tapos 2020 na tayo ngayon, hindi pa pala siya 11. Ano lang siya, no? So, the Magna Carta of Women contains specific three main areas na dapat tignan, no? The rights of women, overall rights of marginalized women, and institutional mechanism. So ito rin, nag-guide rin sa atin kung paano ba tayo magbe-mainstream ng gender sa ating mga ginagawa. Kasi in-specify na ng Magna Carta, ano bang mga section, anong mga provisions dapat nag-contribute yung mga government agencies. And then of course, Chapter 6 of the MCW talks about this, no? Institutional mechanism. So dito, sinasabi, government agencies shall adopt gender mainstreaming as a strategy to promote and fulfill women's human rights and eliminate gender discrimination in the government system, structure, processes, programs, and policies. Okay? So, yung ating nasa Beijing na sinabing i-endorse yung gender mainstreaming, in-adapt natin yun through the Magna Carta of Women. Okay? So, yan, sabi niyan, actually, yung INSTIMEC na yan, na part, no, na chapter 6 of the Magna Carta, very important for everybody in government. Why? Kasi pag sinabi nating batas, dapat lahat ipapatupad. So nandyan yung pagkakaroon ng GAD budget na at least 5%, paggagawa ng GAD plan, pagkakaroon ng GAD focal point system, pagkakaroon ng sex disaggregated data, pagkakaroon ng rewards and incentive mechanism para sa gender mainstreaming initiatives, pagkakaroon ng gender ombud, which is the Commission on Human Rights, at pagkukonduct ng gender fund audit na ginagawa ng Commission on Audit. So, ibig sabihin, mandatory yung mga nakalagay sa institutional mechanism natin. So, if we are not doing that, that's in violation of the law. So, just to repeat, no? Section 37, Article 6 of the institutional mechanism, this is the implementing rules and regulation, states that all government agencies, offices, bureaus, instrumentalities, SUCs, state universities and colleges, government-owned and controlled corporations, and LGUs, local government units, shall pursue the adoption of gender mainstreaming as a strategy to promote and fulfill women's human rights and eliminate gender discrimination in everything that you do. So I hope that is very clear. Okay? Kung malinaw na yung definition ng gender mainstreaming, pwede bang type ang yes sa chat box? Para malaman ko kung nandyan pa kayo. Paki-type ang yes sa chat box kung kayo ay mas malinaw na ang gender mainstreaming. So, kailangan i-consider yung different processes, systems natin para ma-promote yung women's rights at ma-eliminate yung gender discrimination. So we will talk about, thank you very much to all those who responded. We'll talk more about gender mainstreaming in the succeeding slides. All right. So what is it about? Okay, ulitin natin ha. So ang goal natin is women's empowerment and gender equality. Dinagdag ko yung women's empowerment dito. No? Una, gender equality lang yung nilagay ko. Pero nilagay ko yung women's empowerment. Kasi of course, a lot of our mandate still points to the need to focus on concerns of women. Okay, bakit ba? Kasi Philippine Commission on Women kasi advocate. Hindi po ganun yun, ano? Kami sa PCW, hindi ko mag-PCW pangalan namin, pang women lang yung concern namin. We're also concerned about gender issues facing the men, the young boys, the old, the SOGSC, the LGBTQ community, because we should, all of us should be in this together. Okay, so women's empowerment, because there are still some issues affecting women that needs to be addressed so that gender equality will be achieved. Yun yung point niyan. Okay, so what is gender mainstreaming about? Gender mainstreaming is about the inclusion of a gender perspective. So sinabi yan ng Beijing, di ba? Inclusion of a gender perspective. So paano ba ang gender perspective? How do we know na may gender perspective tayo? Mamaya tignan natin. Okay, in the design and implementation of plans and programs carried out by the agency. Okay, pasukan daw natin ang gender perspective. Gender mainstreaming is also about allocating adequate logistics or resources for the conduct of gender responsive activities in the regular program of the organization. Siyempre, kung plano lang tayo ng plano, wala naman tayong resources, wala tayong human resource, wala tayong financial resource, hindi natin magagawa yung plano natin. So it's about allocating sufficient, adequate logistics or resources to ensure that we conduct the plan that we prepared. And then, in our local translation here in the Philippines, sa government natin, isa sa mga aspeto ng gender mainstreaming is yung pag-prepare ng God Plan at Budget. Kasi isa itong tool para makita natin kung tayo ba ay nagme-mainstream. Okay? Pero remember po, nung inisip namin yung God Plan and Budget, dapat pang-start lang siya. Parang lang siya kickstart the mainstreaming process. It's just supposed to start with the 5% para ma-influence yung 95% of the budget. No? So I hope that we are clear that when we say God budget, hindi ito kinukuha. This is still your budget. You are just attributing portion of your budget for God-related issues and PAPs. No, pero sabi natin, yung simula na to, siguro ito yung mga capacity development, mga pag-create ng mga committees, pag-set up ng mga tools, paggamit ng tools. Pero eventually, dahil nagme-mainstream tayo, yung gender perspective, dala-dala na natin kahit saan tayo pumunta. So, ibig sabihin, kahit sabihin mo pang ikaw ay nasa research and development, ikaw ay nasa development ng equipment, paano mo ipapasok yung gender perspective doon para yung trabahong ginagawa mo, ma-attribute na agency mo sa GAD. Yun yung sinasabi ng gender mainstreaming. Kaya tayo merong pasimulang God Plan and Budget. But eventually, the dream of the PCW is that wala nang separate God Plan and Budget. No? Dapat kung ano yung plano ng agency nyo, plano ng institution nyo, ng sector nyo, pasok na yung GAD doon. So lahat ng budget para doon, even the salary of the people working there, ay GAD budget. Kasi di ba, ano na mainstreaming eh. That's the idea of gender mainstreaming. Hindi siya dapat separate. No? Sa ngayon, siniseparate natin para makita kung paano tayo magsisimula. Pero eventually, dapat 25 years na tayo nagme-mainstreaming, dapat pagka 30 year natin sa 2025, hopefully dapat isa na lang yung plan natin. Kung ano yung plano ng agency natin, yun yung GAD plan natin. Okay? Kaya natin yung gawin? Sa tingin nyo, mami-mainstream na kaya natin yung gender sa ating regular plans? Sige nga, patype nga sa chat kung yes or no. Kaya na ba? Ilang taon pa kaya? Ilang taon pa kaya natin ito gagawin? Yes, no? Dapat ganon. Yun ang call natin talaga. It's really not supposed. Maybe, yes. That's very realistic. No? Maybe, hopefully, yes. True. But we need a lot of capacity development. We need a lot of leadership examples. We need the imprimatur from top level. Kasi kung tayo-tayo lang mga focal point lang nagtatrabaho dito, wala mangyayari. Kailangan, the whole organization works for this. Diba? Yun. So hopefully, kapag na-realize na natin yun, magagawa natin yan. Kasi kapag tayo-tayo lang, 2 o 3 tao lang nagpupush ng gender mainstreaming, it's not gonna be very easy. It's gonna take a long time, and we're gonna be frustrated. So we need the whole organization to work on this. So that's the call really for gender mainstreaming. It's really a whole organization, hindi siya whole country approach, whole organization approach siya para mag-mainstreaming tayo. Okay? To borrow the term whole country approach. Meron kasing ganun ngayon sa disaster. So, eto yung mainstream, no? Paborito namin itong ipakita. I'm sure nakita nyo na to, yung stream. Kaya lang, kung taga Marikina ka, yung stream na yan, pumasok dyan sa mga kabahayan. So, nagkaroon na-break ang wall. So, gender mainstreaming requires, sabi natin, interventions at various levels. No? So, ang inaangkora natin na mainstream sa government is how we develop our plans, our development planning process. So, all of us in government knows how to prepare plan. Meron tayong situational analysis, nagpaplano tayo, then yung plano natin, may budget, then i-implement natin, then minomonitor natin, then nagre-report tayo, then we replan. So that's the development process, a cycle, no? And also project development, ganun din. We conduct feasibility studies, we conduct consultation, we design project, we get the project approved, we implement the project, we monitor the project, we report the project, and we assess the project kung na-realize niya ba yung impact na dapat niya ma-realize. So these are mainstream processes. So dapat daw, gender should be mainstream in all levels, no? From planning, programming, budgeting, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Nag-agree po ba kayo doon na dapat sa lahat ng cycle ng development planning, nandun natin ipapasok yung gender perspective? Type 1 if you agree, type 2 if you don't agree sa chat box. Ayan. So maraming salamat sa mga nagpa-participate. Alam namin, may 11 pa. Alam namin hindi kayo tulog and you are still listening. And I hope you're getting ideas about how gender mainstreaming really works. Thank you very much to everybody who's been participating here. Okay, so it means that God is integrated in all levels. So kapag integrated sa buong level, wala ka na dapat separate. Dapat mainstream ka na. So that's the idea of gender mainstreaming. So yun yung dream natin, no? Na dapat pasok na siya sa lahat. Hindi naman natin sinasabing women lang ang may issue eh. Kasi lahat ng program natin na may taong beneficiary, na may taong affected, may potential gender issue dyan. So we just have to know how to analyze and identify how this gender issue should be stated. Okay? Alright, next. Ito naman, for the information of everyone, meron tayong tinatawag na gender mainstreaming entry point. So it's already 4 o'clock. So sana matapos ako in a few minutes. Gender mainstreaming entry point. So in the Philippines gender mainstreaming strategy, nag-introduce tayo ng entry point na 4. Policy, people, enabling mechanism, and POPs. So ibig sabihin lang nito, para masabi mong nagbe-mainstream ka, tignan mo tong area na to. Diba? How do you develop policy? How do you issue policy? How do you conceptualize, craft policy? What are the policies that you issued? Should have gender perspective. People, syempre, sino bang gagawa ng policy? Sinong gagawa ng mechanism? Sinong pinagsisilbihan natin? Sino ang ating client? Sino ang ating mga supervisors? Sinong gagawa ng program? All of these are people. So people as an entry point is a very big opportunity for us to do gender mainstreaming. At meron niyang tinatawag na sponsor. So we need to make sure that our top level officials are sharing our dream of gender mainstreaming, that they are championing gender mainstreaming in our institution. Because without God champions, it will be difficult for the change agents like you, the God focal point, to make sure gender mainstreaming happens. And it will be also difficult for advocates like us outside of your organization to push for you to make mainstreaming work kung walang champion at walang change agent na naniniwala sa gender mainstreaming. At syempre, dapat yung ating client, yung ating target ng ating institution, target ng mga programs natin, dapat alam natin ano yung gender issue nila, nako-consult ba natin sila, nabibigyan ba natin sila ng opportunity na mag-input sa ating mga programs para makita ano ba talaga ang issue nila sa baba. Sometimes, that's the problem of government. No? We think that we know what they need. Okay? Kasi may report naman eh. Tapos ito naman yung sabi. But a gender-responsive process ensures and entails a participatory process. Yan po yung natutunan namin talaga sa PCW. It may take us to another step. It may make us create another step for our process. But if we institutionalize the process of the participatory and consultative process, napakadaling makakuha ng inputs from our clients. So, for some of you have experienced preparing God plans and budgets, minsan tinatanong, what is the basis of the gender issue? Did you consult? Did you analyze data? Meron ba kayong information na nagsasabing ito talaga yung issue? Pag nagde-develop kayo ng program sa Hagadaga, sa Harmonized Gender and Development Guidelines, Elements 1 and 2 talks about consultation with women and men beneficiaries. Diba? So, dapat tignan natin yun. Tignan natin yung participatory process. Kailangan natin i-adapt yun kasi it's a gender-responsive process. Okay? Of course, enabling mechanisms, nandyan dapat yung database, na sexist aggregated, tapos meron tayong mga mechanisms like focal point na active. And then, syempre, tignan natin yung mainstream programs natin. Kasi nandyan ang resources ng ating agencies. The flagship program is a very big entry point to mainstream gender. Kasi most of the resources of government are in this aspect of the entry point. Okay? So this one, I think we borrowed from a presentation of the OST that prepared by the GRSS. Now, what is gender mainstreaming about? So sinasabi dito, one of the starting point for gender mainstreaming is to conduct gender analysis. Siyempre, kasi paano natin ma-integrate yung gender perspective kung hindi natin alam kung ano ba ipapasok natin? Okay? So we start with gender analysis. No? Gender analysis is the process. Ito sabi niya. Okay. Gender analysis is the process of collecting data, examining data, and other information related to gender and social relation para, in order to fully understand, fully identify, and address inequalities, inequities based on gender. Okay? Gender analysis also helps us determine the impact, possible or actual, of a development intervention on women and men, girls and boys, and of course, on economic and social relations between them. So, importante, alam din natin, para makapag-mainstream ng gender perspective, marunong tayo mag-gender analysis. Okay? So, ito na yung lente ng gender. Gender analysis is the lens. Okay? So, these are some of the slides of Dr. Doray Bukoy that I incorporated in this PowerPoint. These are data of science and technology. But before we begin, sige nga, ewan ko kung mangyayari to sa poll. Are there more men or more women in the world? Can you please vote either men or women? Gusto ko malaman ano yung perception ninyo. Kung sino ba ang mas marami sa population? Men or women? You can go to Slido or you can go to the chat. It doesn't matter to me. Makikita natin yan. Okay, sige. Those who said men and women sa Slido, kung may access, please vote. And then dito sa chat, I'm also looking at it. More women, more women, more women, more male, women, women, women. Ayan, women, sabi nila. Sige pa, meron pa ba? Men, okay. Men, meron din nagsabing men. Okay. Sige. About 10 in the Slido. But marami na rin tayo sa chat box. Thank you very much. Yung mga hindi nakaka-access sa Slido, that's fine. Those of you who want to get your coffee, please get your coffee, get your drinks, so that hindi kayo ma-bored. Get your snacks. Kung gusto nyo kumain ng mais, okay lang. Okay. Sige. Okay. I think even today webinar, majority are women, sabi ni Ma'am Eugenia. O nga naman. So, that means, sabi naman ni Paul, men. Sige, Paul, ipaglaban natin ang mga kalalakihan. Okay, sige. So, siguro mag-stop muna tayo, no? But based on the 25 participants in Slido, most of you said that 72% said that there are more women in the world than men. Okay, sa chat box natin, mukhang ganun din. Mas marami yatang nagsasabing maraming babae. O, pero ito, mga lalaki nagsasabi, mas maraming lalaki. Stand up for men. Okay. Sige nga, let me see. Okay. Are there more men or women in the world? Ito ang sagot. Tada! Sorry. Okay. The number of men and women in the world is roughly the same. Equal. Pero, sa UN statistics, no, United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Population Division in 2019, sabi niya, there are 102 male over 100 female. So, ibig sabihin, mas maraming konti si lalaki. Now, in the Philippine population, na almost 100 million, 50.1% are male and 49.9% are female. So, medyo about less than 100,000 ang 1 million ang kababaihan sa kalalakihan. So, ang tama pong sagot, kung titignan natin ang datos, mas maraming lalaki sa mundo. At maraming lalaki din sa Pilipinas. Compared, in absolute number, ha? In absolute number. Okay? So, what does it say? Ang galing, no? Akala natin mas maraming babae. Ako din actually, akala ko. Pero pag nakita ang statistika, talaga palang in absolute number, there are more men alive in our population. Okay? So no worries because men are our partners, men are our allies, and therefore we need to maximize their contribution, their participation in gender and development and in gender and development mainstreaming. Okay? Na-surprise ba kayo sa data na mas marami palang lalaki? Anyways, yes daw, sabi ni Ma'am Sol. Okay, no naman, sabi ni Andrian. Okay, sige. Next. Okay, in Women in Science and Technology. So these are some of the data that we also called from your own presentation. But we just want to share this with everybody para lang makita natin ano yung sitwasyon natin, no, in science. Because when we do gender analysis, we need to have data. Kailangan nag-analyze tayo ng information. Okay? According to the recent study of the AASSA, syempre, kailangan ko pa siyang i-research. This is the Association of Academies of Societies of Sciences in Asia on Women in Science and Technology in Asia. There has been a total of 206 outstanding young scientist awardees. Nila. The field of expertise in OSY awards range from chemical science to engineering science and technology. And ito yung awardees ba to? Awardees, no? Out of the 206, 66.5 are male and 33.5 are female. There are no female awardees in engineering. Only 26% awardees in physical sciences, 24% in mathematical science, and women in social sciences and medical sciences comprise 38% and 34% respectively. So ito ang datos ng women in science and technology. So when we do gender-based analysis, pag meron tayong data na ganito, what do we ask? So we ask the question why. Okay, why are there few women in that field? Bakit kaya mas walang awardee sa engineering? Wala bang magaling na babaeng engineer? O wala lang nagno-nominate? Bakit 26 lang ang awardee sa physical sciences out of how many awardees nominees kaya to? So in gender-based analysis, we ask the question why. Okay, to come up with the reason for the data. Because we don't just take the data as face value. In gender-based analysis, we ask the question why. Okay, so that's very important sa atin sa God mainstreaming. Okay, another data from the NCRP, no, sa Research Council of the Philippines. Sabi nila, ito yung mga number of national scientists from 1972 to 2014. Actually, meron namang 2015 data. So sabi, out of the total 41 national scientists, so parang bago ka ata maging national scientist, meron kang pagdadaan ng criteria for judging at meron kang dapat napatunayan para sa sarili mo in terms of being considered national scientist. Kasi this is, I think, a presidential award, no? Since 2015, 11 are women, and then 2 Filipino women were recognized as national scientists in 2010, and prior to that year, National Scientist Award was given to another woman in 2006. So dito, meron namang na-awardan pero hindi lang madami pa. Okay? So ito namang list na to, hindi pa to exhaustive. I think I was informed na hindi to exhaustive list. So therefore, we could have more women members of the national scientists, no? So ito naman yung 38 members in 2013 to 146 in 2017. So tumataas na lang yung trend ng pag-member ng mga women sa science and technology innovation landscape in our country for basic research. So this is already good. But again, we ask the reason why ganun lang yung number. Why are they not a member? Why are they not in the field? What's prompting them from not getting the award? What's stopping them from not getting the award? What are the challenges of women scientists? So these are some questions that we ask, the what and the why, for us to determine the issues faced by women in the sector. Okay? Okay, next. Ito naman, member of NAST or academicians classified according to ang NASAT, National Academy of Sciences and Technology. So ito, no, ito yung kulay pula ay babae, yung kulay blue-green ay lalaki. So ito yung division nila, Agricultural Science Division, Engineering Sciences and Technology, Chemical, Math and Physical Sciences, Medical Science, Social Sciences, Biological Sciences, Living Academicians, iba naman to, ibang sektor na pala yun. So, doon sa mga division ng sciences, mas marami pa rin talagang member nung NAST ang lalaki. Okay? Tapos, the DOST Compendium of Science and Technology Statistics reports a higher presence of women in terms of research and development personnel. In 2013, the government sector has 2,965 researchers, where 45 were male and 55 were female. Oh, mas maraming research and development personnel ang kababaihan. Ba't kaya? What do you think is the reason? Sige nga, kung meron kayong alam na reason why there are more women in R&D sector, can you please type it in the chat box and share it with us? And then in the HEI, sa public higher education institution, predominantly female number of researchers is at 57%. So yung mga university researchers, no, mas marami daw yung kababaihan. Okay? So that's a good number already. So again, ang tanong naman nito is, what sector are they in? Okay, and why are there less men in the sector? So pwede rin natin yung tanongin. Okay, so bakit ba ang babae ay nasa research? Ito kaya ang sagot doon. Sino mga researcher dito sa participants natin? Mas marami bang babae talaga sa research? Sige, mag-share na lang po kayo sa chat if you feel like sharing. Next, okay. Ito naman yung STEM, no? STEM professionals over the years. The latest available data from the DOST Science and Education Institute reveals that there are about 721,000 Filipino STEM or STEM professionals as of 2010. Yet majority of these are still men, okay? 51%. Okay. The male-dominated fields are engineering, architecture, computer science, and life science. Alam mo to engineering na to, talagang ano to, no? Talagang very male-dominated. But my cousin, I have a cousin who is, nung bata pa kami, engineer yung kinuha niya. Sabi ko, bakit engineer ka? Di ba pang lalaki? Siyempre, hindi ko pa alam yung gender nun. Wala pa akong perspective. Di ba pang lalaki yung engineer? Kasi gumagawa ng building. Para pag gumagawa ng building, pang lalaking trabaho. Ganun yung perception natin di ba? Sabi ni Ma'am Belen, matsyagado kasi yung mga babae at medyo makulit. Yan ba ang reason kung ba't mas maraming babaeng researcher? Paano naman yung mga lalaki? Hindi ba sila matyaga? Hindi ba sila makulit? Di ba? Required mag-research pati mga teachers, lalo na sa public. Yes, para yata yun sa promotion. Women are more knowledgeable when it comes to technical writing or communication skills. Ito na, lumalabas na ating mga stereotype. Okay. Yes, well, depending on the perception, but we cannot say that all women are like that. Diba? Hindi natin pwedeng ma-generalize. Siguro, most women, but also some men are also knowledgeable and good at technical writing. Tama ba mga lalaking participant? Meron din ba sa inyong magaling magsulat at mag-communicate written communication skills? Sabi ni Michael, opo. Philippine Science High School. Sige Michael, ipaglaban mo yan. Must have something to do with the left and the right dominance of the brain. Di ba? Nasa science na ngayon tayo kasi scientific to sabi ni Sol. Well, probably. So these are some of the answers already, but we need to ask the questions when we do gender analysis, di ba? So yun yung sinasabi natin why it's important to look at data. Ngayon, ito yung data naman ng CHED, no? Enrollment of STEM rate as of February 2020. Enrollment, mas maraming nag-enroll na lalaki kaysa sa babae at 710,000 versus 527,180. So, saan ba sila nag-enroll? Yan. Baliktad baliktad. So, yung mga lalaki, hindi ko maintindihan kung tama yung figure ko Anyways, mas maraming lalaki sa agriculture and forestry and fisheries, mas marami sa maritime, mas marami sa engineering and technology, IT-related, mas marami palang babae sa agri-forestry and fisheries. Diba? Mas maraming babae sa masscom and documentation, medical and allied field, at saka social and behavioral sciences. So 68. Ito yung babae yung naka-blue. Yung lalaki kasi naka-orange Kasi orange tayo ngayon, 18-day campaign to end vow kick-off event ng PCW. May webinar din po kasi yung PCW ngayon. So ito yung datos, no? So we have more enrollees ng lalaki sa STEM kesa sa... So data is showing us that there is disparity. Yun lang naman yung gusto natin makita dito. So STEM graduates. So sino naman yung nakaka-finish? Nakaka-complete ng courses. Okay? So ito yung mga selected schools na kinuha. In 2015, only 36% of STEM graduates were female. Mababa din ang completion rate niya. Okay, so ito yung course. Sa chemistry, mataas yung babae, 58%. Molecular biology and biotechnology, 56%. Biology, 60%. Geological sciences, 52%. Mathematics, 56%. Physics, 27%. And applied physics. Mahirap ba ang physics? Kaya konti lang yung nakaka-complete or baka konti lang din yung pumapasok sa course na yan. So these are just data that we can look into and when we conduct our gender analysis. So what does the data tell us? No, the data tell us that most women are still discouraged from majoring in STEM fields because of gender stereotypes in family, probably in schools, and even in guidance counseling. Kaya importante yung guidance counseling. Eventually resulting in segregation in higher education. So may stereotype pa din. Kasi babae ka, magaling ka sa ganito, ito yung kunin mo. So ito yung isa sa mga i-challenge natin. And then because women have less access to resources such as property, financing, technology, and education, needed to support active engagement in science. So, magastos ba ang mag-research? Magastos ba mag-develop ng bagong technology? As a result, their presence in employment and entrepreneurship and research is lower than men. So, pero dahil libre na ang tertiary education sa public, dapat mas ma-encourage na sila to go into the field. Diba? Sabi naman ng DOST Calabarzon, faster decision-making po ang men. Mga women, faster decision-making daw ang men. Is it applicable to all men? Lahat ba ng lalaki mabilis magdesisyon? Naniniwala ba kayo doon? No! Sabi nung iba. Hindi lahat. So some men might be very good in decision making, but some women are also good in decision making. So ito yung challenge natin sa gender, no? Challenging the stereotype. challenging that boxing us na pag babae, ito yung ano niya, ito siya, pag lalaki, ito siya. So ibig sabihin lang nito, we have to be more open that our stereotype notion could be challenged and could be applicable also to other sector, to the men and or to the women. Men are risk takers. Sige nga, ang ganda ng mga chat dito sa box eh. Not all men are risk takers. Some women are also risk takers, but not all women are risk takers. So you know, yun yung challenge natin dito. So what can we do? Okay, this is to end the first part. For us to challenge the stereotypes, start by respecting every person, individual, regardless of age, ability, whether physical or mental, belief, religion, everything, no, including marital status, so GSC, sexual orientation, and gender. All types of marginalization that we experience, dapat i-respect natin yun. And recognize that there is inequality in our homes, in our community, and in the institution, and we should change that. And dapat mag-apply na tayo ng gender lens. No, yung ating pag-analyze ng sitwasyon para yung ating respective task sa agency natin, ma-integrate natin yung gender perspective. Okay? So yan yung first part. Now, let me just quickly go through the gender mainstreaming in science and technology. Okay. Again, let's go to a poll. Kung pwede pa tayo mag-poll. Gender issues and concerns of both women and men must be put at the center instead of remaining in the sidelines. Agree or disagree? Huwag na siguro nating i-poll. Baka dito na lang tayo sa chat para hindi na tayo lumabas. Agree? Sige, just type in the chat box. Should we put the concerns, gender issues and concerns of women and men in the center? Siyempre, napaka-leading ng question ko, no? Siyempre, agree. Nag-agree kayo. Salamat sa mga nag-agree. Okay. So, ito yung mainstream natin, no? Everybody should know about your mainstream. Okay? So, sabi dito, please type in the chat box, what is your mainstream? Naintindihan nyo ba kung ano yung mainstream ng organisasyon nyo? What is it that you do? That's your mainstream. Can I see inputs in the chat box? I-type nyo lang, ano yung mainstream nyo? Kunyari, research, that's your mainstream. Human resource development, that's a mainstream. So what is it that you do in your office? What is your mainstream? Testing, sige. Technology transfer, ano pa? What is it that the program that you do? Ano yun? Agriculture, CPTRI, planning, sabi ni Cherry. S&T services. Sige nga, yan yung mga mainstream nyo, no? Okay, project implementation. Yes, that's true. What else? Regulation. Nagbe-mainstream tayo. Planning, monitoring, science and technology, information and promotion. O, ito yung nagbibigay ng mga IEC materials. Budgeting. Tama, no? Sabi ni Agnes, baka nasa admin and finance. Community empowerment through S&T, administrative, project management, quality assurance. Yes, that's a mainstream. All right. So these are the mainstream. Alam nyo kung ano yung mainstream ninyo. Okay, so ito yung mga sample, no? Human resource, recruitment, planning, policy making, research, product and development, project development and implementation. So these are the mainstream that you have. So when we talk about gender mainstreaming, dapat yung mainstreaming nyo, doon natin ipapasok yung gender perspective. Okay? So hindi tayo mag-iimbento ng ibang bagay para lang gumawa ng God plan. Kung ano yung ginagawa nyo, doon natin ipapasok yung God perspective. Easier said than done, Arlene. Of course. Kaya nga tayo nag-aaral eh. Kaya nga tayo nagkakaroon ng opportunity to learn from each other. Paano natin magagawa unti-unting mag-mainstream sa ating reason for being. So ilan nga yung entry point ng gender mainstreaming na sinabi ko kanina? Natatandaan nyo pa ba? Ilan yung entry points ng gender mainstreaming? 4. Thank you, Cherry. Very good. Sabi din ni Ma'am Nora, 4, of course. So when you look at, for example, your mainstream, which is research and development, for example. So what is the policy related to research? Who are the people involved in that? What are the mechanisms that we have in research and development? In product and development, how do we issue policy related to this? So lahat ng entry point, pasok sa inyong mainstream. So yun lang naman yun, kailangan lang natin i-situate yung entry point dun sa ginagawa natin. At hahanapin natin yung gender perspective dun. So just to briefly explain what is the mainstream, ito yung dominant ideas in the organization, the culture, Ito yung development directions and priorities. And this also involves the mechanisms for decision making on resource allocation in your institution. And what are the predominant ideas in the institution is also the mainstream. Ano yung priority? Okay. However, the challenge in the mainstream is sometimes it's not always positive. Sometimes may discriminatory element sa mainstream kasi gender blind. Kaya hindi pa tayo oriented, hindi pa tayo aware. Kaya dapat ma-influence natin yung mainstream. Kasi dinudugtong lang natin yung gender sa mainstream to come up with gender mainstreaming. So, ito yung pinipresent na rin ito ng DOST, Mainstreaming Gender in Science and Technology. So, you have all of these three major tracks in the DOST SNT-wide services. You have the Sectoral Planning Council, you have R&D Institutes, and you have the SNT Service Institutes. So, ito yung mainstream ninyo. Ngayon, meron na tayong mga ginawang pag-analyze, ano ba yung gender issue na pwede nating i-consider sa sectoral planning councils at ano yung nandun sa GWE, no? So these are already some of the gender issues that we can integrate, no? Dito naman gagaling yung perspective natin on how we will influence the sectoral planning councils. So, ano ba yan? I hope tama ang pagkakalagay namin dito, no? Excuse me. Okay, so DOST identified gender issues, limited access to technological information and livelihood opportunities, especially women. Income-generating activities for men are limited to seasonal construction work, low level of participation of women in farming. So probably this is part of your DOST-wide gender issues na nasa GAD plan nyo or nasa GAD agenda ninyo that could very well fall into this track, no, of your DOST sector. And then sa GWE, meron din siyang sinasabi about it. Not necessarily all of this should be done in one planning cycle, but could be considered in developing your long-term vision about your GAD agenda in the agencies. Okay? For R&D Institute, for SNT Institute. So merong this is not exhaustive. These are just examples, no? So you can challenge all of these gender issues and come up with your own. Ang importante lang naman, ma-align natin yung ating major outcome, no, in the DOST with gender issues relevant to that major track or major outcome of our organization. Kasi nasa Prexy approach na rin tayo doon. Okay? So why gender in science and technology matter? Gender inequalities are also caused by failure to recognize women's knowledge and know-how. Women and men's knowledge and know-how, of course. Kasi pag may stereotype pa rin tayo, even men will be stereotyped. And then gender stereotypes in family and schools and communities eventually result in limited access to STEM courses in higher education, as we have seen in the data. And of course, women play a central and vital role in society, especially in reproducing the next generation, productive activities and social function. Women, in partnership with their partner, no, dapat joint parenting responsibility, should make sure that we bring up men and young boys, young girls to be empowered, young boys to be empowering, young boys to be doing household work and everything. Okay? So, gender mainstreaming can make SNT policies more effective, sabi natin, and appropriate SNT programs and services can enhance individual contribution to economic growth and development. So ito yung gusto nating makita, no, na kapag nag-mainstream tayo, we will make the way that we do things more effective. At saka mas makaka-enhance to na economic development ng lahat ng tao na affected na ating mga programs and services. So ito yung ginagawa nyo ngayon, no? So actually the DOST is a finalist in the Gantimpala Award of the PCW last 2019. You have gone through a very good progression in terms of your gender mainstreaming initiative. You are not starting from zero. In fact, I think DOST is level 3 in gender mainstreaming. So but kailangan lang itong masustain. Kailangan lang itong gawin ng lahat, no? Let us not just make it a work of the GRSS because they just lead it, no, as support to the GAD focal point. But all of us, including our attached agencies, including our client, no, mga estudyante na client ng DOST or mga women beneficiaries natin, dapat nalalaman natin ano ba itong ginagawa natin. So sa DOST, ginawa nyo na yung gender analysis, pero syempre kailangan patuloy natin itong gawin kasi may mga emerging gender issues na lumalabas. Ngayon, yung COVID-19, di ba? Tapos, gawin natin yung God plan or God agenda natin. So, ano na ba ang status ng pag-develop ng long-term God strategic framework ng DOST for God? Ito yung tinatawag na God agenda natin. Tapos, syempre, annually, kapag may maayos na tayong God agenda, madali na yung gender and development planning and budgeting. Madali natin matatrack yung gender mainstreaming initiatives ng organization natin. Okay? So again, babalik ko lang dun sa end goal, no? Everything that we have been discussing should contribute all to our goal of achieving gender equality. Yan naman yung pinaka-goal natin. Okay? And then, ito, gender mainstreaming in science and technology matter. Ito, I would like to pick up this slide na ginamit nyo rin. Kasi science and technology is vital for the achievement of internationally agreed development goals. Diba? Including CEDAW, Beijing, SDG. By facilitating efforts to eradicate poverty, achieve food security, fight disease, improve education, and respond to the challenges of climate change. It has also emerged as an important means for countries to improve productivity and competitiveness and to create decent work and opportunities. So lahat ng sinabi ditong words, may gender yan. Kasi di ba, merong gender related sa poverty, sa food security, di ba, in fighting diseases, education, of course, all of this. So ibig sabihin talagang vital yung role ng SNT for achieving our commitments, especially our international and national commitments, not only in terms of development, but also gender and development. Okay, so just last few slides, how do we make gender mainstreaming work? For it to work, you have to analyze and transform the mainstream. So alam nyo kung anong mainstream nyo. I-analyze nyo yun and then make the necessary adjustment, transformation, integration of gender perspective. That's how you make gender mainstreaming work. Gender mainstreaming can also work if you challenge the status quo. Okay? Sometimes meron kasi, di ba sabi nga kanina, yung minsan yung mainstream, meron siyang mga patriarchal practices, meron siyang discriminatory practices. You have to challenge that. As God practitioner, as God focal point, pag may nakita tayong discriminatory, challenge natin yun. Tapos pag-identify tayo ng means to ensure that power is redistributed para ma-influence natin yung enabling environment natin para maging conducive for gender mainstreaming. Then, as God practitioners, you have to be creative and innovative. No, wag tayong masumuko pagka may nakaharap tayong problema tapos parang wala nang solusyon. We have to be very creative, di ba? Kasi of course, science and technology sometimes is very exact, but we need to be very creative on how we present things and how we analyze. Di ba? So that yung ating mga interventions would ensure that there is gender-related impacts and results. And then, of course, you develop technical and gender expertise in your sector. So thank you very much for doing this because this is contributing to developing your gender expertise, especially in terms of integrating the perspective of God and making sure that you incorporate this in your mainstream. Okay? Para yung ginagawa nyo, pasok na yung gender doon. Yun yung gender mainstream. Okay? And then what can we do again in terms of science and technology? Just to reiterate, we need to change perception, attitudes, behaviors, social norms even, and stereotypes towards women and men in STEM society. So magsimula tayo sa bahay. We start from our own households. Paano natin i-distribute ang responsibilities? Okay, paano natin pinipraise yung ating mga anak at mga bata sa bahay? Ang galing-galing mo kasi lalaki ka, magaling ka sa math. Ganun po rin ba tayo? O kasi babae ka, masinop ka sa gamit. Itong mga lalaki, mga burara. Diba dapat kailangan hindi ganun? Dapat more encouraging. Dapat gender fair ang pag-encourage natin sa ating mga anak na babae at lalaki. Engage girls and young women in STEM primarily and in primary and secondary education as well as technical and educational training, create an enabling environment to ensure access to and retention of women in STEM in higher education at all levels, and institutionalize the principle of gender equality in career progression for scientists and engineers. So ano ba yung mga challenges na meron sila? So dapat ma-address natin yun. And promote the gender dimensions in research content, practices, and agenda. So meron kayong research, meron kayong research plan in the science and technology sector. So meron namang mga gender dimensions doon. But we need to make sure that in our tools, mga enumeration list natin, yung ating mga research methodologies, research materials, paano natin na-incorporate yung gender dimension doon. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Okay, just to end, this is Dr. Reynabel Reyna Reyes, talagang very queenly. and astrophysicist and data scientist. Hirap naman ng course na to, and astrophysicist and data scientist. Sabi niya, on why we should foster and the interest of young girls and boys in science and technology. She's a quotable quote in one of our, Wanna Says, no? So Women Make Change for Women's Month celebration. Sabi niya, we need more women scientists because we need more scientists. We need more women coders because we need more coders. The dream of a Philippine where every child, regardless of gender and social class, can aspire to and pursue a career in science and technology and help build a better country for us. So sinasabi niya, kailangan natin ng mas maraming scientists, na mabayang scientists, kasi kailangan natin ng scientists. So regardless, so because they can be scientists. We need women coders because they can be coders. So yun yung sinasabi niya. All right. So I think thank you very much to Dr. Reyna for that very good quote, and I think that ends the session for today. And I hope may na-pick up naman po kayo sa aking discussion, and would be very happy to engage with the participants with the remaining time that we have. We will be sharing the presentation to everybody. Don't worry. Thank you very much for listening and for staying on.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Narlene, for that.
Hi, Ma'am Tess.
Hi. Can I have a comment and a question, Madam?
Ayan, si Ma'am Fe po. Sige po.
Okay.
I cannot type the second one, Madam. Can I just...
Yes, Ms. Tess, you can raise your question.
Yeah, the first one is a comment, like Ma'am Narls.
Yes, Ma'am Tess.
I observed from your presentation na ang nagme-mainstream lang ay yung sectoral councils, the RDIs, and the SNT services. Please include, we are also actively mainstreaming lahat po ng DOST regional offices.
Yes, ma'am. Noted po yan. Hindi po exhaustive yung namin, yung mainstream that we presented. Of course, we need to acknowledge also the regional offices and the attached agencies contributing to the gender mainstreaming in the overall science and technology sector.
Yes, thank you very much. My main concern is this. Based on your presentation, it's very laudable to note that we now have a Philippine national plan for gender responsive development. And you have made mention of, I believe, 8 items, right? Now, is this already a finished output in a way that it will just be disseminated to all the entire DOST? Because if not, is there a possibility that we can also include some sections, particularly on research and development, on technology transfer, and women in business? Now, you have a slide in which you presented that 57% of those doing research are women based on the NAST figure. And I think you are also very much aware that some of the regional offices of the OST has a tie-up with DCW and Canadian government for the women economic empowerment. So I just thought that I think it should also be included in the development plan, sustainability, and how this WE project should be implemented even after the assistance of Canada shall have ended. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ARD Test, for your comments and for the clarification. The PPGD, the Science and Technology part in the PPGD has been in existence since 1995. So it's already, actually matatapos na siya sa 2025 yung plan, no? Parang yung end ng plan is 2025. So there are other sections of the PPG that covers what you said about research and development, about women's economic empowerment. So nandun naman po yun. Now, in terms of women's economic, yung GWE plan po, yung Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment, ito yung ating latest term-based plan na 2019 to 2025, nakapasok siya sa MSMEs and industry and ang women's economic empowerment. So nandun po siya. Then about for the institutionalization of the results of the Great Women Project, of course, we would be working with our partners, DOST, DA, and DTI on this kasi importante talaga ma-sustain natin yung results nung Canadian government provision fund na binigay sa atin to continuously support women's economic empowerment even at the local level. Lalo-lalo na sa field kasi nandun talaga yung implementation. Di po ba,
Yes,
ma'am?
ma'am. If I may just add, at the DOST levels, at those two regional office levels, since Engineer Sancho A. Maborang is the chairperson of the ARGAD C2, knowing for a fact that this WE
Yes.
program should end this year. However, when we had some consultations early part of this year, I made some representations if they can possibly extend it for next year, in as much as we will have to cut costs on travel, cut costs on
Yeah. Kasi nga wala na nga yung
all
ano, no,
the,
face to
yes.
face.
Now we were able to spend just a little and but had done a lot through
Yes.
virtual activities for this year for webinars, and so much so that PCW already agreed that we can have the project until 2021 of next year. However, still, RD Sancho and I have to come up with the Argos, we have to come up with some measures to sustain. Kaya po ma'am, we were able to come up with a resolution now already approved by the Regional Development Council for all agencies of government here in Region 2 and other institutions to support the Women Economic Empowerment Project of PCW and the Government of Canada even after
Yes.
the term of the project term. Actually, I received already a request here from your office to give some information to the Asia gender responsive procurement in Asia and the Pacific and the ADB and UN funded research project to share this policy initiative. But I still have this desire that it should be really implemented in or inputted in the gender responsive development plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ARD. Yes, definitely dapat we should really work. Actually, PCW is going to be working with our partners for the institutionalization of the results of the Great Women Project. Totoo po kasi maganda yung results niya. Meron naman po tayo talagang positive results about the status of women in terms of economic empowerment.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
we continue
Thank you,
to
Miss
look
See you
upon you,
soon.
ma'am, your
See you
competence
soon,
and your
ARD.
skills. Yes, ma'am, to help us in our deepening session sa DOST
Yes po.
for our DSB, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay
God
po.
bless.
Miss Narlene,
Yes, ma'am Fe.
another question coming from DOST 11. It says, do you have a stand? Do you have a stand about a stand on SOGI bill, whether personal and or organizational level, and what effect will it do or not do to gender mainstreaming when with its passing, if ever?
Okay. Personally, I am in full support of the SOGI bill because I am a God practitioner. I believe in inequality. I believe in human rights. I believe that we should not discriminate anyone on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. I think officially, the PCW is also for that anti-discrimination bill or the SOGI bill as an organism, as an institution. So we are actually supportive of that. I don't think there is anything very significant that will happen in gender mainstreaming because our advocacy for gender mainstreaming now is already to include anti-discrimination interventions. So ito, mas hina-highlight lang kung makakapasa yung anti-SOGI bill, mas hina-highlight lang yan talaga that nobody should be discriminated on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. And therefore, dapat talagang i-make sure na may paipasok natin yan sa ating ginagawa, lalo na sa human resource development natin, lalo na sa recruitment, hiring, sa promotion, diba, sa mga beneficiaries ng program natin. So it will make actually gender mainstreaming more robust, more interactive, more participatory kasi we are covering all of the bases. So wala po, mas lalalim pa actually yung perspective natin kapag na-consider talaga natin yung anti-discrimination on the basis of SOGI.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nadine.
Ma'am Fe?
Yes.
Okay na po.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Davao. Thank you, DOST 11.
Okay.
PSTC.
Thank you again, Ms. Narlene, for that informative presentation. According to the chat, sabi, very informative and interesting. Thank you very much, Ms. Narlene.
Thank you.
And indeed, it is challenging for us because as you shared to us that we really need to mainstream gender in our S&T programs, policies, projects, and activities. And we have to consider the 4 entry points. And now for all employees of DOST, indeed, we are part. We have work ng God Focal Point System, but all employees of DOST. Okay? So if you have questions that we were not able to address today, please email us and we'll try to answer your query. And the email address is god@dost.gov.ph. Okay, so it was indeed a pleasure to have you, Ms. Narlene.
Thank you, Director Beth, for, si Director Beth po, let me just acknowledge her for, she was the one who called me talaga. We had a long talk about this.
Okay.
She said that there will be a webinar on gender for the Science and Technology Week. So thank you, Director Beth, for the opportunity. Thank you, Ma'am Fe.
Okay. As a token of our appreciation to Ms. Narlene for her time and valuable contribution, may I request Dr. Fontanilla to kindly present the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Narlene Millar.
If I may just read the text of the certificate, it reads, Republic of the Philippines, Department of Science and Technology, located at General Santos Avenue, Bicutan, Taguig City, awards the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Narlene L. Santos Millar, Chief Technical Services and Regional Coordination Division, Philippine Commission on Women, in grateful appreciation and recognition of her expertise as resource person during the webinar on gender mainstreaming, What's in It for DOST on November 25, 2020 via online conferencing, signed by yours truly and Fortunato T. de la Peña, Secretary DOST. Again, maraming salamat po sa ating resource speaker. Napaka-lively ng kanyang presentation. Maraming salamat also for stepping in for Dr. Pupoy. Talagang maasahan ka during this very mga challenging moments. So for that, we are very grateful. DOST is very grateful, and maraming salamat. God bless po.
Thank you, Director Beth. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, may we thank you for your participation in this webinar. This has been the presentation of the GOD and Regional Support Service in celebration of the National Science Technology Week. So this concludes the webinar. Thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned something today. Again, thank you and God bless everybody. Thank you to the team, to all GRSS staff, to Camille, to Danica, Jane, Rita, Sir Louis of ITD, and of course, Ms. Narlene Millar, Ms. Psyche May.
Thank you, Psyche May.
And we'd like to recognize also Yusek Guevara, who is with us, and Asek Dayan Ignacio. Salamat po for your presence. Again, thank you. And
thank you, everybody. Keep safe.
Yeah. Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, Narlene. Thank you, Director Beth. Thank you, Ms. Fe. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pasek.
Thank you.
Oh, wala tayong Kodak, Fe.
Yes, meron po.
Yeah. Group photo.
I request you to please open your camera now. Anyone in the... My camera dyan, okay, open. Okay. First and first. Okay. Ikaw ang magsabi, Miss. Okay, please wait for the cue from our technical person. Just smile. Thank you for participating.
Kindly open your cameras po in my queue. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, next po. Wait lang po. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Next po ulit. By page po kasi to. Sorry po.
Okay. Just
Okay.
keep smiling.
In 3,
Isang page kaya tayo.
6 pages, ma'am.
Thank you.
So this is the third page po. In my cue, 3, 2, 1. Last two po. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Last po.
Jan, tapos di ba meron tayong
3,
Ano?
2, 1.
meron tayong list of 2021. Sinabit natin
Jenny.
kay Jana. I-repeat mo natin.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you
Okay,
for participating.
salamat po.
God bless
Keep
everybody.
safe.
Thank you. Congrats
Thank
po.
you, Mike. Shelby.
Yeah, congrats.
Darling, Lisa, thank you.
Thank you, Director Beth. Thank you, ano.
Thank you, folks. Okay.
See you all on Monday, flag ceremony announcement.
Please,
Awarding kami ng God Award sa Monday.
Wow, congratulations.
God, gender mainstreaming yon ha?
Wow, yes. Kasi rewards and incentives.
Yes. Sige, thank you.
Thank you,
Miss
ma'am.
Nars
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
Tay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Asik Dayan.
Thank you, Asek. Bye.
Thank you, bye. GRSS staff, please stay on ha. Please.
Why? Bakit? Being access. I need permission pa rin. Cannot be accessed.
May nakaka-access. Meron ng 4 na naka-access.
Get the evaluation form.
Ayan, ma'am. Try na lang po ulit para send na
Miss
lang.
Fe, bakit ayaw ng link ng evaluation form?
Okay na po.
It's being, ma'am, sorted out na. Okay na po, ma'am.
Okay na.
Yes,
Tapos
ma'am.
yung na-announce ni Ma'am Beth, Monday is November 30, baka December 1, yung virtual flag ceremony, yung sinasabi niya.
Sorry may karapatan tao lang po.
Okay lang po,
December
Ma'am Beth.
1, sorry.
Opo,
December 1, flag
Sige
ceremony.
po, salamat po.
Salamat, Miss Belen.
Thank you very much. Hello, Miss Giselle or Miss Roms from Region 10. Abby! Hello, Miss Abby! Si Abigail. Hi, Miss Abby! Good to see you! Finally, nakita na kita. How are you?